clap. Hello everybody. It's a great privilege to be here to tell you guys how I got started. And instead of going and the challenge, all this thing, let me take it back to you when I did this all this stuff. As a lot of you here are either a student now or I have been before. So when I was in undergrad studying engineering, I was dreaming to become an engineer and do design, nothing but design, system, hardware, or whatever have you, and be part of some lab. Upon the graduation, I was fortunate enough to find a job in that field. My first job right out of college, and I have to thank GW for that because for my education and my training. I landed a job at NASA. I think some of you have heard of them. It's a pretty prestigious institute, so I went there and worked there. And my job was to work with a lot of missions and scientific programs. And my job was to design the communication system for that and be part of that team. It was very challenging, very interesting. And part of doing so, some of this code that our team wrote or some of the hardware we designed was flowing to those shuttles or satellites, which, believe it or not, still some of them are still flying, Landsat for one. So it was very challenging and very interesting. That gig lasted for 2-3 years. Then our management got hold of that and they said, we want something else for you to do. We want you to manage people instead of just doing this technical work. Well, that didn't go well with me because I didn't want to lose those toys. It was a lot of fun. So I was faced with challenge to either manage or be the technical. So I chose the latter, meaning I wanted to be the technical. So I left NASA and went to work for another small company called Boeing. And there again, initially they gave me the same opportunity. I was doing the technical work and it was a lot of satisfaction because all you have to know 747 and you know where you work. And here I had an opportunity to work with a lot of domestic companies as well as international, which gave me a good idea of having good appreciation for how this global market works, not only business in the United States, how the market is done internationally. But then again, I was faced with the same challenge. It's horrible. That they said, now you got to be a manager. I said, but I like this. Only part I didn't like traveling. I was traveling all over the world. So I said, you got to do this. But I like both being manager as well as the technical person. Now I have to make another decision. But I also have learned in my two jobs that I saw the work from both sides. What I mean by that, when I was working for NASA, we were the customer, and the company was providing service to us or selling products. So we were consumer. We saw it from that perspective. Then when working for Boeing, we were providing either parts, services, or goods, and we were actually the contractors. So I saw from both ends, and I realized something, that I've seen the work from two sides in this industry, so it would be cool and decided pushing me towards the management or to pick one path to start my own. So thus, keeping those ideas and keeping that perspective, I started Adnet. That was many, many years ago. And it had a lot of challenges came along with that. And I started with a fellow GW graduate. We started together. It is still around, but I more or less been running this for close to 20 years now. And it has many challenges, many things. Never early on when I was sitting in the classroom here, thought that I would end up doing the business. But one thing remained is, even though we're engineering student, the engineering had helped me so much. Even the business I run is based on engineering principles. You think about something, design, then implement, and then manage or operate. Well, I have used the same principle. I didn't go to any business school. I didn't take any dummy one-on-one class for business entrepreneur. So I have used, the only thing I know how to do this was engineering, and it has served me very well. So thank you again for this opportunity, and I will welcome if you have any questions later on. Thanks.
Good. Thank you very much, Ashok. Next, I'd like to introduce Elias Shams. And Elias has had experiences with 3 amazing businesses since he got his degree in engineering here at SEAS in 1996. In fact, his first job when he after he left GW was to work for a company called Uri Systems, which after a few years, in fact, you were employee number 8, one of the very laugh at that a little bit because then he started his own business called Telezoo, and we'll hear more about that later, and that lasted for nearly 7 years. And then the most recent company where he was CEO and is now a board member is a firm called Searchles. So 3 different experiences, all having to do with small business and growth of the economy. Tell us a little bit more about it.
My name is Elias, Elias Shams. I got off the boat from Iran in 1985 here. My undergrad was at University of Maryland, electrical engineering, and then I started grad school here at GW. I mean, honestly, it was GW that got me thinking of becoming an entrepreneur. I took a couple of business courses here along with my double degree. Shortly after my graduation, I started working for this startup company, Uri System in Lanham, Maryland, employee number 8. They put me in charge of, I don't know, I'm sure most of you guys have heard of this Predator drone used for war on terror. Those days, back in the 90s, it was top secret. We were supporting U.S. servicemen in Bosnia, and I was a project manager for video communication link between Bosnia and Pentagon. Now you see it in the movie Transformer and in kids magazines, but those that we weren't supposed to talk about it. No one was supposed to know anything about it. We raised about $10 million for the company by AT&T, and in 1998, when we had revenue of only $50 million, Lucent bought us for close to $1.3 billion. Shortly after, I joined another company, the Newbridge Network, which was bought by Alcatel 8 months later for $440 million. So with the stock option I cashed out from these 2 companies, the first true company that I launched on my own was Telezoo.com. It was based on my frustration of being a telecommunication engineer. It was very difficult to identify the right solution for the network. And the Telezoo that I launched was, in a way, was the first social networking before Facebook, before MySpace, but focusing only on telecom sector, connecting buyers and the suppliers up in telecommunication, IT buyers, talking back and forth. I raised about $5 million for the company. $2 million of it was from friends and angel investors. Part of it was from my stock option, and a portion, $3 million from venture capital. And the company I operated in 2005. Then I was hired as a CEO of a social media company in DC called Searchles. And now I'm the board member, and let's see what else. And recently I just launched, based on my experience of being entrepreneurs, living in various countries, cities, I recently launched a blog called awesomedc.com, covering technology, parties, clubbing, all the good stuff in DC. And my intention is to position Washington DC as way more than just politics and corruption that everyone all over the world is familiar with.